Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is the InkCase Plus, which is an e-ink display that fits into a case and pairs with your smartphone over Bluetooth. So you can use it to send pictures to the e-ink display, you can send ebooks, and you can interact with them without turning your phone's screen on. So because e-ink is a low-power technology, doesn't require a backlight, it uses a lot less power, so if you're going to read ebooks or do other things using your phone, you can use this e-ink screen to save electricity, or to view it in more direct sunlight. You can sort of see a little bit of glare there, but it's nothing like the amount that we're getting from the sunshine here on the phone screen itself. So, for instance, you could send a picture with phone numbers, directions, other things that would be accessible without turning your phone on, or again, you can read ebooks. It's a 360 by 600 pixel display. It's black and white with sort of shades of gray, and it works pretty well for a handful of things, but only really a couple of things. Now, this was released, or sort of first introduced in 2014 as a Kickstarter campaign. Early units shipped out to backers already, and it's available for purchase. The e-ink display itself sells for about $79, $80. The cases go for about $20, and together you can get them for about $89 or $90. This version was made to fit the Google Nexus 5 smartphone, and it's a nice little snug fit. Doesn't offer a ton of protection, but it works pretty well as a case. There are versions for a handful of other phones, but then there's also sort of a much more generic large model that looks a little bit bulkier, doesn't necessarily fit as snugly, can be a little bit trickier to use. So here you can see that it does cover up the back and side. The top is sort of open here, the bottom's sort of open, but it does make it easy to access the volume buttons, the plugs, and so forth. So as for the e-ink screen, you can pop it out by just sort of poking at that, and then we've got access to the camera. So let's take a quick look at some of the things you can do here. With the e-ink display, we can look at different photos that I've sent to it. First I have to turn it on. So we've got cat photos and some pictures that came with the device. And let's go ahead and open up the e-ink, or the InkCase companion app. And once you've paired it via Bluetooth, you can download a couple of different applications here. There's the EpiReader, ebook reader, the InkCase photo app, InkCase Sports, and iReader, which is an Chinese ebook reader that I can't really make heads or tails of, but it does come preloaded on a lot of Chinese tablets I've seen. The photo app allows you to choose photos and edit photos and send them to your device. So let's go ahead and take a look at my camera, find a picture of one of my cats, edit, zoom in a little bit here, and send. And that picture winds up on the front and is also now accessible via the InkCase photo. So I can choose any of them here, or again, I can sort of scroll through the photos that are available. The e-reader app allows you to send ebooks. So it's a fairly basic e-reader that you can use to read ebooks on your e-ink display. Let's go back to the beginning here. So we've got a little Sherlock Holmes action. And I'm going to turn on the page flipping sound so that I can demonstrate something for you here. But when we pull up the settings here, there's an option that says Read on InkCase. So we're going to do that. Just going to send the photo here, or the ebook here, and sort of pair the two devices. Sometimes it does this much more quickly. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn off that screen, and we've got the ebook here. So I can use these arrow buttons to scroll through the pages, but you still hear the page turning sound because the ebook is actually on the phone itself. So the screen is off, but what we're doing is we're reading it on the device, and if I turn the screen back on, you'll see that the changing of the pages has happened here. If I click back to Read on Device, I can go into the settings, I can turn off page flipping sounds. There's an option to turn the page with the volume keys and so forth. But once the app is paired with your InkCase, I think the key advantage here is then that you can read these ebooks using the InkCase. So it's a relatively small ink display, but it does have the advantages of low power, sunlight readable, relatively high resolution, although honestly the fonts don't look stellar here. And then if we go back to the, if we exit the ebook app, confirm that we're exiting, it goes back to the last picture. So that's pretty much all you can do with it. So for 90 bucks, it's sort of a companion for your phone that turns it into something resembling a Kindle, except you can't use it with the official Kindle app or the Barnes & Noble Nook app or the Kobo app or any other ebook store. You have to use it with ebook stores that support the InkCase. So it's got sort of limited use cases at this point. If you do read a lot of ebooks, if they're particularly DRM-free EPUB books or something that you can upload to the ebook reader, this might come in handy. It's something that, because it is a case for your phone, you might take it with you places that you might not take a standalone e-reader like a Kindle. If you just like the idea of having a phone protector that has customizable photos, and again, you could take a screenshot from your phone that has, say, a map on it or something like that, and set that as your picture, well, you know, I can see how it could be useful. So it's a neat little device. I really like the idea behind it, but the limited functionality, the fact that you can't use it, it doesn't have a touch screen, you can't use it to interact with all of your Android apps, does make it a little bit of a limited device. So it's a way to sort of turn your Nexus 5 or Samsung Galaxy S5 or other phone into something kind of like a Yoda device's Yoda phone, which is a dual screen phone. But the difference is that the Yoda phone actually has a touch screen for its e-ink screen, at least on the Yoda phone 2, and it's a device that you can actually mirror everything that's happening on your color screen on the black and white screen. So the Yoda phone, which is going to be a much more significantly expensive device, is also probably going to be a more useful device if you wanted to answer phones, read your email, do other things using the e-ink screen. But still, for $80 or so, plus the cost of the case, the InkCase Plus is a nice little interesting device for people who might be able to make use of the photo and e-reader apps. And there's a possibility, if this thing really takes off, that we could see more third-party apps start to support it. But for right now, I just enjoy looking at a picture of my cat when the phone's off. So there you go. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing and a sort of overview of the InkCase Plus with the Google Nexus 5.